thoughts on Nazara Technologies as well, but we have the management joining in, so let's get talking to them. It's the first corporate on our radar today. For Q2, the company actually witnessed a decline in ad tech revenues, while the margins were also lower sequentially. The management in the conference call said that the second half will see a pickup compared to the first half. Nitesh Mittersain, the joint MD and CEO of the company, joins us now to talk about that. Nitesh, thanks a lot for joining in, and greetings of the season to you and your team at Nazara. Can you first start by talking to us about this fall that we've seen in ad tech, and what is the prognosis now? How long do you think this weakness could last?
Sure. So as we mentioned earlier, we lost client that was a large one for us. It was a relatively low margin client for us. So I think that's the reason you're seeing a decline in revenues and also the EBITDA delivered by that business. But we're seeing a steady improvement over there. We expect Q3, Q4 to be much improved, and the coming year that business to recover. We've got new products launching. The product margins are much higher. So the overall gross margin profile of that business is improving a lot. So I think we're very much on track to recover that and grow again.
Can you explain to us the reason behind losing that client? Was it because, was there some industry-specific issue? Was it because of the demand situation? And also, if you can tell us, your ad tech, in the last 4 quarters, the revenues were about 130 crores or so. What percentage of this would be low margin?
Sure. So it was a US-based client which got acquired by a larger group, and that group had its own internal resources to manage the business. So it was nothing specific to do with our service that was being provided to them. In terms of the lower margin business, it contributed to about 30% or so of our revenues.
Okay. All right. Well, Nitesh, good morning. Nitesh, the second half of the year is going to be much better. If I compare the second half of this year with the second half of last year, what kind of a growth will you be looking at? I think last year, roughly, you did approximately 605 crores approximately. So how much better can this second half be?
Look, we're hoping to do better, but we've not given out a specific guidance. But if we take a step back, I'd just like to take this opportunity to talk a bit about the gaming opportunity in India. We have about 500 million gamers today, which are expected to grow to 750 million gamers by 27. And gamers are spending today 100 minutes on average a day playing games, which is much more than OTT time spent watching OTT and TV, etc. So I think gaming is becoming dominant force of entertainment in India. And I think that's what Nazara is really building out. We're not working on quarter to quarter. It's important for us to deliver revenues backed by profitability, as always has been. But for us, the bigger picture is India is going to emerge as a very dominant gaming player globally, and how do we continue to play a vital part in it.
Okay, that's a big, very ambitious plan. You're saying 500 million gamers in 2023 and expected to go to 700 million gamers by 2027. So you have about 1,300 crores of cash on your books, right? Including the money that you recently raised from a couple of influential investors. What are you planning to do with that? Any M&A plans that you have in this or the next calendar year?
Yes, of course. As you know, we're a profitable cash flow generating company, so we don't need to use our capital or reserves to fund any losses. So much of the capital will be used for driving additional M&A. Nazara has a strategy of acquire and grow, which has worked very well for us, and we are surely going to double down on it. We built a strong pipeline, especially in core gaming studio IPs, esports space, and perhaps a little bit in ad tech as well. So we're looking at all these opportunities and hope to conclude some transactions in the next couple of quarters.
All right. Nitesh, but this GST regime, it's impacting the real money gaming. For you, obviously, it's not that large. But could you tell us, how do you see this panning out, and what kind of impact have you seen so far, and what kind of an impact are you likely to see going ahead?
Sure. So the real money gaming contributes to about 4% of our revenues. So it is a minimal impact from a Nazara perspective. And we are actually seeing this as an opportunity rather than a problem. As you know, all along, we have been, very cautious about our exposure to real money gaming because there was unclarity on regulations and taxation, and we were being a bit conservative. Now that there is more clarity that has emerged in terms of how GST, etc., has to be applied, I think Nazara will look at this space more aggressively to invest in it and to grow it, because the overall opportunity in terms of monetization is very large.
All right. Just before we wrap up, how many minutes you said that people spend on gaming now, and how much is it expected to go up to?
From reports that I have read, it's averaging about 100 minutes a day. I know a lot of parents were not very happy to hear that, but it is the reality, and we expect that gaming will continue to be important source of de-stress and relaxation for Indians on their mobile phone.
All right. I mean, I can attest to that. 100 minutes? What's 100 minutes?
I was just
It
gonna
goes
say
with
that.
that. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and great to have you with us here, Nitesh, with that perspective.